Hello, algebra students. Today we are going to continue our exploration into the big F word. We're getting pretty good at it by now, and we're going to learn to factor trinomials by grouping when the lead coefficient is not 1. Yesterday we did it when it is 1. We might spend 2 days on this. If you know your multiplication facts, this is not very difficult. If you don't know your multiplication facts, anything in math from this point out is difficult. All right, remember yesterday we had a lead coefficient of 1, the coefficient on the x squared term in the trinomial was a 1 and we multiplied by the constant. We're going to do that again. We're going to multiply 6 times 5 and get 30. Okay. And now I'm going to need two factors of 30. And I could list them all out, but I don't have to. But I'll go ahead and list them all out just so you see what's going on. Hopefully you know your factors and you can start to think. You won't have to list them all out because sometimes they're going to get pretty ugly. There we go. I think I have them all. Now I'm going to add. How do I know to add? Because the last term is positive. I've got it written in descending order. Okay, so I'm going to add the two factors together. What number do I need to add to get? I need to add to get 11. Uh-oh, I don't see any factors of 30 to add to 11. Hold on one second. Sorry, standing right in front of me. 5 plus 6 is 11. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. And a mental blank. It's been a long couple days, and geez, we're only at the middle of the week. All right, 5x plus 6x. So we're going to rewrite this 11x. We're going to take 6x squared, and I'm going to write plus 6x plus 5x plus 5. Now I know down here I wrote it as 5x plus 6x, but I decided to switch the order when I saw the lead coefficient x squared was 6 and the constant was 5. I thought it'd be easier to group them together. So I'm going to go ahead and group, always grabbing that sign, put a plus sign in the middle, and then my GCF is going to be a 6x. I will pull out a 6x. And remember, we're dividing here. Some of you like to forget that we're dividing. This is going to end up being a 1, not a 0. So I'm going to have 6x times the quantity of x plus 1. All right, over here I'm going to factor out a 5. That's my greatest common factor. And then I'm going to have an x plus 1 left. I have a common factor of x plus 1. I'll pull it out as a quantity. 6x plus 5, and there you go. I just factored um, the expression 6x squared plus 11x plus 5. It's pretty much the same thing as we were doing, except the number has the potential to be a little bit bigger because we're multiplying the lead coefficient by the constant at the end. Okay, let's try this one. I've got 12 times 10, so I've got 120. Now, 120 is going to have a lot of factors. I don't want to list them all out. I'm going to try to work smart, not hard. I know that 10 times 12, and I'm going to have to add to get 23. Okay, well, 10 and 12 is only 22, so that's not going to work. So maybe I'll back up. I know 9's not going to go in. 8 should go in. So let's see. If I don't like dividing by 8, I like dividing by 2 3 times. So 120 divided by 2 is 60. Divide that by 2, I get 30. If I divide that by 2, I get 15. If I divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2 again, I just divided by 8. So I get 8 times 15. And 8 times 15 is 23, isn't it? Now I need negative 23 for an answer, so it'll be a negative 8x minus a 15x when I rewrite my problem. So let's go rewrite the problem. 12x squared, and I think I'm going to put the minus 15x there. I could put the minus 8x, and then I'm going to have a minus 8x plus 10. All right, going to look for GCFs. It looks like the GCF of the first group will be 3x. I'll divide out a 3x. I'll be left with a 4x minus 5. Here, my coefficient on x is negative, but in this quantity, it's a positive. That's a hint that I've got to factor out a negative. I'm going to factor out a negative 2. And I'm going to pull out being left with a 4x minus a 5. All right, 4x minus 5 times 4x, or excuse me, 4x minus 5 as quantity shows up as a factor in both parts of the problem. So it's common. I will pull it out, leaving me with a 3x minus 2. And look at how simple that is. Now, if I wanted to, I could have listed all the factors of 120, but I don't need to. I don't need to. All right, let's try this one. Looks like the constant is negative. That'll change things. I'll be subtracting instead of adding when I go to rewrite my problem. Still going to multiply 12 times 3 and get 36, right? Okay. Um, Let me see here. Sorry, lost my mental train of thought. Okay, so I'm going to subtract to get negative 16. So I need two factors of 36 that will subtract to get negative 16. All right, I'm not seeing it right away. I know 1 and 36 aren't going to work. I know 2 and 18. Ooh, that could subtract to get negative 16, couldn't it? Yeah, if I did 2 minus 18, wouldn't I get negative 16? There's there's what I'm going to use right there. So I'm going to write 12x squared plus 2x minus 18x minus 3. And just to check, I have to make sure that these two numbers, if combined, have to turn into that middle number, that negative 16x. And sure enough, they would. Okay, just showing you a little mental check so you can see what's going on. All right, I'm going to pull out a GCF. Well, I got to do my grouping thing, right? I'm going to do the little grouping thing. Always stick a plus in between there. And so it looks like it's going to be a 2x. I factor out a 2x here, I'm going to be left with a 6x. I'm going to be left with a plus 1. Here they're both negative. I'm going to factor out a negative 3, and I'm going to be left with a 6x plus a 1. I have a common factor, 6x plus 1 times quantity of 2x minus 3, and I am done. Done, I tell you. Done. All right. Now, same thing on this one. I've got a negative, so I'm going to subtract. I'm going to subtract to get 7. My factors, uh, my factors are going to be 120 of 120, and I got to subtract to get 7. Now, right off the top of my head, 8 and 15, because I did any other problem, right? If I do 15 minus 8, I get 7, don't I? Now, see, I'm just working smart. I could list all the factors. I mean, I'll do it if you really want me to. Let's see, I'm going to have 1 and 120, 2 and 60, 3 and 40, 4 and 30, 5, and oh, I have a mental blank. 14, no, 14's not right. Wow, 24, yeah. Just doesn't feel right. Sorry about that. Let's see here. 6 and 20. Okay, I don't think 7's going in. No, 8 should go in. 8 and 15, which I already said. 9's not going to go in. 10's going to go in 12 times, and 100 or 11 won't go in. Okay, I don't really want to go through and check all those. I know that to have them be 7 apart, these two are the answer. 15 minus 7 or minus 8. 15x minus 8x. Okay, but that's how I could do it if I didn't see that. But the more you start to look for patterns and think about numbers, the easier it'll get. Plus 15x minus 8x minus 12. All right, going to group, put that plus sign between the quantities. GCF will be 5x. Be left with 2x plus 3. Going to factor out a negative 4 to be specific. 2x plus 3, look at that. I got the same quantity. I got 2x plus 3 as a quantity and 5x minus 4 as a quantity. Now you might be thinking that, wow, Mr. Owens, you make this look so easy. You know what? It is easy. It is easy. Just follow these steps. Okay, this one's really a cool one. I'm not going to tell you what's special about it. Number 5 and 6. See if you can figure it out on your own. I'm going to do it just like it's not something special. 4 times 9 is 36. I need to add to get 12. Two factors. Oh, sounds like 6 and 6, doesn't it? 4x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 9. GCF, I'm going to get a 2x. Just give me 2x plus 3. Plus, I'll pull out a 3 and get 2x plus 3. Looks like I have a quantity of 2x plus 3 times a quantity of 2x plus 3. If you wanted to, you could write this way. It would be simpler. but either answer is correct. You can give me this answer or you can give me this answer. Did you notice something here? That's a perfect square. So is that. Square root of 4x squared is 2x. Square root of 9 is 3. Very interesting. Okay, on this one, I'm going to be adding to get negative 20. Okay, so 4 times 25 is 100. Okay, I need two factors of 100 that add to get negative 20. Well, it sounds like 10 and 10, and both would be negative, right? So 25x squared minus 10x minus 10x plus 4. Okay, gonna do my group in. Gonna pull out a 5x minus 2. I'm going to pull out a negative because my first term is positive and my second is negative, but in this quantity, the first one's negative, the second positive. So I'm going to pull out a negative 2, looks like, get a 5x minus 2. I'll have a 5x minus 2 times a 5x minus 2. Look, the same exact thing happened. And again, either answer is acceptable. This one or this one, don't have to give both. Hey, is this a perfect square? Is this a perfect square? Sure is. Square root 5x, square that 2. Hey, look at that. Coincidence? I think not. Anyway, we'll talk more about that in class. That's it. There's 6 examples. If you need to, watch the video again. Mr. Lord signing off. Have a good night, everybody.